get in, lads. Mexico, Uruguay set to play 4 days. I think it was Thursday, Friday. We're gonna give you guys a preview predictions video because we're very excited for that video or for that game. So if all that interests you, make sure to stick around. And then of course, if you want more Mexico, Uruguay, or Copa America content, we're gonna have so much planned for the next few weeks. So make sure to subscribe down below and leave a like, comment. You know how to do all that stuff. So
I just want to correct you real quick so we don't get flamed in the comments. The game's Wednesday at 6. Wednesday at 6. Don't want to get flamed in the comments.
So yeah, Mexico, Uruguay. I mean, this is a tale of two different stories here, right? Like I talked about it in our video the other day about the friendlies to watch ahead of the Copa America, and this obviously is one of them in there. But tale of two stories. First, let's talk about Mexico's side. What does this game mean to you, Andres, for Mexico? What do you want to see Mexico do here against Uruguay?
Well, okay. Well, let's start off with, I think the elephant in the room is the Bolivia game where they started it looks like their U23 squad. I'm expecting a much stronger squad, maybe a mix of the team against Bolivia and our actual A team. But I'm expecting us to go full out just because it is Uruguay and it's going to be an actually good test for us. I mean, we've only beat them once in the past couple of meetings, and the last time we actually beat them, it was in the last Copa America we played in, 3-1. Yeah, and then we don't talk about the other times because they smashed us 3-0 in a friendly a couple years ago. But yeah, I'm looking for the A team coming out. Not our strongest squad, but I would like to see some change ups, especially literally an entirely different squad from Bolivia.
Yeah.
Because that's just wasting everybody's time, especially the A team, because this is a true test to see where we're at going into the tournament, because Uruguay is always good in this tournament. So yeah, it's going to be something interesting to see, especially against the squad that Uruguay are using, which is most likely they're not their strongest squad, but it is consists of some big hitters for them. So it's going to be an interesting test. I would like to see some changes in the defense for Mexico, try to switch things up, maybe just not Montes in the back all the time. I just want to see somebody else back there. Just a decent performance all around is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like, that's pretty much what these friendlies are for, right? And that's, by the way, what I want to remind these managers of these teams, that these are what the friendlies are for, is to determine how you're going to play in the Copa America instead of playing your goddamn B teams against these other countries. But yeah, Mexico, they don't necessarily need to do good, but they almost need to do good. You know, like, they have to have a decent showing here, and because it would really elevate a lot of people's positivity and hopes for the upcoming tournament, which is honestly at an all-time low for Mexico. I not many expect Mexico to do well, and those that do expect Mexico to do well are just naive and have not really paid attention to the upcoming tournament.
I'm more biased than naive, but
yeah, there you go. So yeah, Mexico absolutely has to do good. They should be playing an A team on Wednesday, like Andres said. But as I just said, managers need to focus on these friendlies as ways to gear up for this Copa America tournament, which a lot of them have not been doing recently, unfortunately. But Uruguay here, I think it's more important that Uruguay does decent than Mexico does well too. I mean, as long as Uruguay like looks good in this game, really asserts that they're a top 3 quotable squad going into the tournament. That's going to look really, really good for them going into the tournament and for predictions and hopes for their fans and whatnot. So, like, honestly, if Mexico loses, I would say it's definitely more along the lines of the expectations that people have set for them going into this game. I wouldn't be the most upset or shocked, per se. But what would shock me would be if Mexico won this game against Uruguay A team, that'd be huge. I don't see it happening. I really don't see it happening.
I feel like even if we do lose, it's the way it'll be determined the way we lose. If it's like we get absolutely smacked and it's complete domination from Uruguay and they're all over us, then and it's like a high score line, then not a good sign. But if it's like a 2-1 defeat or it was a fairly even contest, then not the end of the world. It's only a friendly, but yeah, it's going to say a lot about this Mexican side. I feel like there's pressure on in this game. Just because of we play Brazil next in the friendly, obviously after Uruguay, and that's going to be a even bigger test because that is literally a number one top 2 favorite. It's either Argentina or Brazil. Somehow Mexico, we are a top 4 favorite. I don't understand how that's possible, but the sports books say so. But
it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, but I guess history. But yeah, bamboozles. But yeah, I think it's going to be especially on JAIME LOZANO, it's going to be put a lot of pressure going into the tournament, especially these next 2 games. Now, if he feels the under-23 squad, there's no pressure on him whatsoever because they'll be like, oh, it's just the under 23
I'd be
squad.
so mad
But
though.
I don't know
upset.
why they would, why he would. But I mean, once again, why would he field an under 23 squad to face Bolivia, who was in the Copa America? But at least they won, so at least we know we can beat the Bolivian A team with our U23 squad.
Yeah. But by now, like Mexico, most of these teams are in their camps. They're training for the upcoming games. Why wouldn't you play your A team here? Are there any players that on Mexico's side, at least for now, that you really want to see do good in this game? For me, I really like Cesar Huerta.
Yep.
I don't know.
He's better.
He's very good for Liga MX for in Liga MX for Pumas and whatnot, but I still want to see a little bit more from him for the Mexican side. Because I would very much like to see him be a mainstay on that winger side for Mexico. I do know apparently he's being looked at by Premier League and the Liga clubs for the upcoming season. I don't know how long.
I've heard some inquiries to Puma.
I don't know how possible it is for a move for him anytime soon. But I think for me also a really big player that I want to see do good is Malagon. Of course, I mean obviously he is the next Mexican keeper up for the foreseeable future. He's 27. Only has 4 caps. I would like to see him do good against Uruguay here too, just to ease spirits, I guess. After leaving, as we moved on from Memo, obviously people have their different opinions on Memo Ochoa depending on the way you're looking at it. But he was for Mexico one of the more consistent players in the past decade or two for the Mexican side. So I think Malagon and Cesar Huerta are my top 2 people that I want to look at. Are there any players that you in particular have?
I was actually going to just focus on the keeper situation just because I feel like these next 2 games, there's probably, Malagon's probably going to be the starter going into this tournament. But I also think we got to take these friendlies as an opportunity to play the other guys as well. Yeah. Just to get some competition in there. But I'm not too impressed with Malagon. I've only seen a couple of matches when he's played for America this season. I'm not too impressed by him, but also I'm a massive Memo fan, so I might be a little bit biased. But I hope he does well because he's obviously the future. So I'm rooting for him, but I'm not too impressed by him so far. Nothing standoutish, in my opinion.
That's fair.
Ortega. I'm looking for Ortega, the left back, because I feel like one of our Mexico's biggest weak spots is the
fullback
situations, especially with Jorge Sanchez being called up instead of certain other players. I know your opinion on him, but
if you watched probably any video about Mexico in recent history that we've done, I am a certified Jorge Sanchez hater. I really don't like Jorge Sanchez at all. I would have very much have liked to see any other player.
Araujo. Literally Araujo.
Primarily just because, but to be fair, Araujo is just coming back from injury. I would at least like to think that he would have made this roster otherwise if he wasn't hurt. But no, Jorge Sanchez, I think hated by a lot of Mexican fans, hated by a lot of Porto fans. I guess he's a player that I want to look at. Another player I want to look at too. Who I feel like we shouldn't be looking at now, and I wish we were able to look at him way more earlier, is Santi Jimenez. Yeah. Because now he's officially the number, or at least he should be played as the number 1, right, for Mexico, forever, or at least until he retires. Yeah. That should have been the case weeks, months, if not a year or 2 ago. So I really want to see how he does. I mean, you're going against a top back line with the likes of just to name one player to lead it, Araujo, who's one of the best defenders in the world. Jimenez, of course, from Atletico Madrid. I really want to see how he does here, if he is able to keep up with them. Also, for a club level, too. Because I think for Santi Jimenez, if he does really good at Copa America, I 100% see a move next year or the year after to the Premier League or La Liga. To a really
He's
big club.
Apparently, Feyenoord's put a £50 million price tag on his head.
I'd pay it. I mean, just tell Chelsea, they'll probably pay it.
But I would
Santi Jimenez, for sure, is one of my players to look at.
Also, I'm only gonna say Ortega just because of the situation we have, especially at left back. Especially because Gallardo is actually not a part of the squad. Even the preliminary squad, he's not a part of. So I think he might slide into that position. Also, Israel Reyes is someone who I want to look into, specifically the center back, just because I feel like our Mexico's biggest weak spot is obviously their defense and how slow they are.
by far.
So Israel Reyes could add some speed to that. So I'm actually hoping he plays on Wednesday, but we'll see. But yeah, I think also Quinones, who plays for America, the Colombian turned Mexican international, right?
I like him. I've kind of always liked him since, I mean, in most recent.
He has flair. He has flair.
Year.
I just don't think he's had enough opportunity to impress on the national level. So I'm looking for that. But I was gonna say Huerta from Pumas just because.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks the most promising out of. I'd rather have him play than fucking Antunes. So you know. But yeah, I also think Vega can make a statement here because he also can play on the wing. He usually plays the left wing. And usually the last time he was actually involved in the Mexican squad was the Olympics when they finished bronze, and he played on the left wing and interchanged with Henry Martin. Thankfully, he's not on that squad. The squad. So, but yeah, I can see Vega left wing possibly in these next two games. But yeah, I'm focused more on the defense just because I'm hoping he switches it up just to test a few things to see what could work for the Copa America. But we'll see, especially with Darwin Nunez. I mean, he's quite a quick guy. So I'd like to see.
Fast.
It's going to be a good test, especially Darwin Nunez does like to go out on the wing sometimes when he does get the ball. So it's going to be a good test for the fullbacks. But yeah, those are the players I'm looking for. I really hope he fields those players instead of an under-23 squad, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, he should. Like I've already said, managers, look at me. Like, you have to be playing your best teams here. Because then what's the freaking point? I mean, what a waste.
I mean, think about it from like the
matchups.
International level. It's like you only get X amount of time with these players. Yeah. You don't want to be wasting people's time, your own time. You spent months preparing the squad, picking them, going to see them play.
Right.
And then you just don't play any of them in these friendlies, and it's just a waste of time. Especially because in international football, managers are always on the hot seat, especially if results don't go their way.
Absolutely.
So, and they have like 4 weeks to turn something around usually, and then if not, then they're gone. So,
and especially now, I mean, for JAIME LOZANO, there's so much to turn around. I mean, which is exactly why you need to play your A team here against both Uruguay and Brazil, just to see where you're at. Like, this is a completely different team. You have to be seeing where you're at here versus the top of the line teams here. What scares me, though, is that I don't have confidence in JAIME LOZANO to do it. I'm sure he will. But I don't know. I feel like there's going to be something off, interestingly. Like, I'm going to watch it as best I can, but it's going to be like, I would not be surprised if he screws up somewhere and just plays like whoever, like, out there, honestly. Another player I want to see, Marcelo Flores. 20 years old now. Very, very solid player. Very, very solid player. Has a high ceiling. Can do much better than he has been doing this season. I would love to see him be one of the upcoming attackers for Mexico for the foreseeable future. But, like, wingers, probably the strongest part of the Mexican side in terms of depth. So, who knows? A lot of good players that can play there. Uruguay, at least, though. I mean, if you're going to talk about Mexico's defense, let's talk about Uruguay's offense real quick. If Uruguay's offense doesn't do good against Mexico's defense here, it takes so many points away from Uruguay for me for the tournaments. Like, if you've watched a video regarding Copa before, Uruguay are one of my top two favorites, personally. It's them and Argentina are the top two. They should demolish Mexico here in terms of goal scoring opportunities, at the very least. You can win by 1 or 2 goals, but it should be like a 25 to 6 shot ratio. Yeah. I honestly, I mean, just we said it already. Mexico's shortcomings has been defense since probably Rafa Marquez was in the team.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly. So, pace is just not something that they have on defense. Pace is the exact thing that Uruguay has on offense. You already mentioned it. Darwin Nunez, Pelistri, players like that, Facundo Torres, they're going to be up there. Brian Rodriguez, they're going to be up there. The slow pokes like Cavani and Luis Suarez are not going to be. Cavani's not going to be part of the team. Suarez looks like he's not going to be part of the team. The very least, you just long ball it, and the Uruguay player is going to get there every time as long as it's beyond the defense. I would very much like to see a really good showing by the offense here, in particular by Darwin Nunez, because he didn't have a bad season at Liverpool per se, but it's kind of looking like he's going to be moving this summer, maybe, or next winter. I don't know. I kind of want to see him. He still hasn't fully proven himself to me as a player at the highest level of football since he came. I mean, were we recording videos when Haaland and Nunez came to the Premier League and it was the argument? I think we were.
Were we?
Barely.
Yeah, I think so. I think we just started out. I think we just started out when they were doing that.
Yeah.
I remember, I'm not going to say I had a super hot take that was completely wrong. I'm not going to repeat it so I don't get flamed right now. But I would just say I was completely wrong and I should have just went with the general population of their common belief.
You always got to do something different, huh?
Yeah. I just thought, I thought it, and it was not. It was not it. That was probably my biggest miss as a football guru. But you know what? It's okay.
For Uruguay, there's a lot of players here. It's kind of similar to Mexico, how there's definitely a new era of Uruguay kind of stepping into play here. We're getting, Cavani's not going to be there, Suarez not going to be there. We have a lot of young players coming in that I really want to see do well. Manuel Ugarte at PSG, of course, is a player that he was supposed to come to Chelsea. Not about hurt. And I really want to see him do well as well. Obviously, Araujo, players like that should be really, really good. I'm very interested in seeing how these players play. So it's not going to be I'm not going to just watch the Mexico side of it. Neither should you guys. Uruguay definitely has a point to prove here still. On paper, they're a favorite. On the field, that kind of remains to be seen. So I'm very interested in it, and how Uruguay's going to play. Score prediction though, Andres. Give me a score prediction for Mexico.
It's going to be about to be a biased score prediction here.
Oh, Jesus
I'm going to go 1-0 Mexico.
Oh, God. Okay.
I'm going to go 1-0. I believe.
If let me find that comment real quick that I think we got yesterday. What was it? Yes. If you're watching
guy
this,
off the podcast,
Cholita Americana. Cholita Americana, if you're watching this up until this part of the video, the comment said, "Yo, the third guy has zero ball knowledge," referencing Andres. Get that dude out of here. He's biased as fuck for Mexico. And it won't stop. It will never stop. I subcommented to that saying, "We've been trying to tell him, he just don't be listening." It's not gonna stop.
I will never change. West Ham, I will always think we will win every single game that we play. Okay, same thing with Mexico. Actually, maybe not, but
no.
I can still hope and dream, and you know what? It's my podcast. I co-host, but I'm on here, so I can say whatever I want when it comes to Mexico. You can start your own podcast and bash Mexico if you want, sir. But I will always back my boys. So
wow,
yeah,
what a hero! What a hero!
Mexico,
is there anything else that you were interested that makes the game interesting to you, Andres? Because I already
dude, the whole game itself.
I know, literally.
It's a friendly, but it's gonna say so much about us.
I very much just want to see what team he puts out there in general. The starting lineup, like yes, A team, B team, but if it's an A team, I want to see what that A team means to JAIME LOZANO. Because if it means what it means to everybody else, okay, that's fine. But typically, whatever it means to everybody else, it's not shared by JAIME LOZANO by one bit. So I'm very curious. Will Antuna be starting? Probably.
Bro, I really hope that it's gonna be a whole spiel if I start. I just hope that man does not start in the Copa America. I swear he can come out as a sub and I'll be okay with that because he actually does okay when he's a sub. But don't you dare start that man. I swear. I don't want to see crosses being whipped in 35 yards out because he has no ideas. Okay, anyways, I don't know.
Certified hater, bro.
I'm not a certified hater. He's just shits, bro.
You are literally.
There's so much evidence. No, look at football, bro. Just look at his past ratings for this team, bro. It's so bad. All he does is, I can literally tell you what he does. He goes and then cuts it in and then fucking crosses that shit. That's all he does. I don't see him doing anything. He goes,
what the fuck was that?
I can't really do it because
I'm not. That?
Hold on, let me.
Oh God! Oh, good God!
Hold on. He goes
Wait a second. A shoulder drop? Is that what you're saying? He just drops his shoulder?
No. He just drops his shoulder and goes. Yeah, but he takes the ball inside with him.
Oh.
He just goes, and then he crosses. He doesn't even take another touch. He goes, duh, and then he whips it in first time. And I'm like, you fucking idiot! What the?
Oh boy!
That shit pisses. Or he'll do the shoulder drop and then cut it back one more time and start exactly where he was just at, and then just do little feints over the ball. It pisses me off, dude. Look what you did. Look what you did. We were about to wrap up, and then I just did a shoulder.
And then he was doing a shoulder drop. The Baby Yoda shoulder drop was crazy. That's insane. All right. Well, I think that's all we got to say here. Maybe we can do a reaction. We'll see if we can do a reaction. It's at what time, Andres?
6 o'clock
6 o'clock.
p.m. Wednesday.
Wow. Wednesday. All right. So
PST.
make sure. Thank you.
Sorry.
Pacific time. Make sure you guys watch that game because it's going to be a good one. If you're interested in seeing how Mexico might play the Copa America, this is one of the games to watch. And between this game and Brazil, the hope is more there for this game because I don't know if they're going to beat Brazil. But if you guys have any opinions on Mexico or Uruguay, let us know in the comments down below. If you guys want more Mexico-centered content as well, make sure to leave a like per usual. You know the deal. If you guys want to see Andres hating on Antuna or me hating on Jorge Sanchez even more, make sure to subscribe down there and hit the bell. And yeah, all right. We'll have a lot more content coming out later this week. And hopefully we'll see you guys then. Bye, guys.